I'm here with another podcast with a very special guest. I am the Unknown Cameraman, and we are joined by...
The Unknown Camera Woman.
We wanted to talk about some weird things that we have seen and experienced while exploring. So, obviously, when you are in abandoned buildings, you never know what you're going to find, and chances are there's going to be some weird stuff. Obviously, weird artifacts left behind from decades ago, all kinds of little treasures there.
But today we're more talking about the paranormal activity or things that could be mistaken for such.
So, we were talking about it earlier, and probably the prime example of that for us was an abandoned nursing home that we went into. Pretty standard explorer, right? I mean, we went in through a window, the usual.
When we were walking around the property, though, I remember we had discussed later how we both had a strange sense, which we usually don't get. We're not your typical ghost hunters or whatever you want to call them.
You don't frighten too easily.
Exactly. We don't go in there looking for that sort of stuff.
And definitely, if we ever do have a feeling, we always trust our gut. If something feels wrong, we're going to act on it. And like we said, usually that doesn't happen. But at this place, we were exploring the first floor, and all of these stairwells were blocked off. So we're like, I guess, we're stuck on the first floor. Found the entrance to the basement, and started walking down the steps. And I immediately got this gut feeling, and almost like an image flashed in my head that if you go down these steps, you're not going to come back up. I don't know why I felt like that. As far as I know, we didn't hear any noises. It was dead silent inside.
Right.
So there's no reason to suddenly be afraid, right? I mean,
yeah, I'm usually the one that pushes you, telling you that, don't be scared or anything like that.
I'm much more cautious usually.
Exactly. I'm a little bit too pushy at times. However, this time, I guess in part due to the way that I had felt while exploring the grounds themselves, when the Unknown Cameraman said that he felt uneasy about going down those steps, I took his word for it.
Immediately, we felt like we needed to be quiet, and we were whispering, and we tiptoed out of there. And then we got outside, and it was, okay, cool, whatever. That's a shame we didn't get to see the place. I guess somehow I found out later that there was access to the upstairs from the basement, that the stairwell in the basement was not boarded up, so that was how you would have gained access. So fast forward a little bit, and in researching this location for doing the video, I found an article that somebody had posted about 5 months before we explored, detailing how on the upper floors of that building, some other urban explorers had found a homeless man, or they said a man living in squalor, that had about 30 baby strollers in the room with him, and he was yelling something about practicing witchcraft. So I thought that's probably what the feeling that we had was, that guy was probably upstairs, and who knows what would have happened if we ran into him. Maybe it would have just been, okay, he's crazy, let's get out of here, nothing violent. But it was weird that there was nothing that we heard, but we got the sense that this witchcraft guy was there.
Exactly, or that something was
something
there.
Yeah,
right.
We don't know that he was there, but the fact that a story earlier that we were unaware of at the time of exploring, that apparently somebody a few months ago, or a few months before we explored, had found that guy upstairs where we would have been heading if we kept going forward. So it's pretty weird. Just other weird things exploring, though, kind of in the same field of just feelings. And I almost don't want to bring this up just because it's probably my imagination, that I know where we were and it could have just been my mind running wild. But when we're in abandoned hospitals, these old psych wards built, early 1900s, horrible treatment of patients there. People tortured, left naked on wooden benches, starved, all just horrible conditions. So you can only imagine if there was any kind of restless energy in this building, or if that kind of thing exists, this is the place where it would exist. There were hospitals where after walking down hallway after hallway of the identical layout, room after room, they all look the same, every once in a while there would be one room that I would stop, and it felt like the room itself had a personality. Like if you were out somewhere and you see a stranger and you kind of feel their energy, you feel their vibe, or just you get a sense of that person. There were some rooms where I got that feeling, and I don't know if it was something real or just my imagination of, oh, there must have been somebody that lived in this room, and I don't know why one room in particular would stand out to me, but there's just another thing of getting that feeling. It wasn't anything alarming or anything like that. The real dangers present are usually enough to keep us from falling into anything like that. If we hear a noise, we're thinking wild animal
Or another person.
or another person, and that's what puts us on high alert. That's usually not anything strange. We're worried about the real things
Right.
that could be there. So,
Real threats are typically in the form of other living human beings. People who are hiding out in these places doing drugs.
that's usually the first fear that comes to mind. So that's pretty much everything that's happened to us in the last 4 years, 5 years of exploring. If anything weird's ever happened to you, feel free to leave a comment and tell us about it. We'd love to hear your stories. Don't forget to check out our videos on the main channel on youtube.com/theunknowncameraman. Thank you for watching.